Hey, Chief.
Hello.
How we doing? Alan, how we doing? Good, good. Guess say we look good in the paper, the three of us, huh?
There's just bark mulch going up the side of the house.
Oh, just,
Was that today?
Just now.
Yeah.
where's the horn? No horn? Okay, start it. Good, good. Good evening. Welcome to the May 4th regular meeting of the Board of Selectmen. On the outset, I'd like to tell everybody that this is being recorded and transmitted via cable television. And to start the meeting, we'll have the Pledge of Allegiance. Everybody rise. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We have a short agenda tonight. Should be able to enjoy the rest of the nice evening. First on the agenda is Gloria Lemieux, Council on Aging applicant, and Linda Nakara is here from the Council on Aging with Gloria. Linda, would you like to come up and just with Gloria and just tell us what?
Well, I can sit down. You go first.
Okay. Gloria has been volunteering in the center for many years.
13.
And Gloria has always been very hardworking. When she says she's going to do something, she does it. She's very friendly. Everybody loves her.
Thank you.
And she's very loyal to the senior center. She really, she's written letters to the editor about the senior center. She's just really knows all the good that the senior center is doing. And I think she'd really be an outstanding advocate. She already has been. But we would love to have her on the board.
That's great.
Thank you, Linda.
Great. Gloria, welcome.
Thank you.
I read the quick bio we had, and it seems like you certainly enjoy the senior center and use it
Oh, I do. It's like my
often.
second home.
Yeah, that's what you said. It's amazing the amount of classes and things they offer, and you certainly take advantage of all of them. So
I do.
It's great, and I think it's a tribute to the center that now you would like to be on the board and help out and run the center and oversee it. So I think it's what everybody should aspire to. I think that's how you keep a board strong, and that's how you bring in new things to the center. So I know we've been trying to add some room over there. We've now going to get a second large room added over the last 2 years. They're going to start pretty soon, and you'll be able to help coordinate what's going in there for new programs. So.
Well, without our director, she is the best.
Well, she is wonderful. She is wonderful.
Collaborations.
I've been working with Linda for about 8-9 years now, so she's been wonderful. So.
Right, you can paint this new room?
I don't mind. I love to paint.
Yeah. Well, I don't have any questions. I just wanted to welcome you, and I certainly would welcome any questions from the board members. We'll open up to the board. Tom.
Gloria, we chatted for a few minutes today, and as I said earlier, I want to thank you for making time in your schedule to give back to the town. You have been for a few years now, and it's awfully nice that you're stepping up even more to join Linda and the board and take more control and shape the center for where we're going to go in the future as the community grows and as the world in general is growing older. It's good that we have locations like this, these community centers that seniors can go to and enjoy each other's company and have fun during the day. So I want to thank you for taking the time out of your life to bring a smile and a cheer to many other people.
Thank you.
Chris.
Gloria, just like you too, just as my fellow selectmen have mentioned, thank you for your service and your willingness to serve Linfield. But I have to tell you, you had me at the first sentence when you said that Linda had recommended you. The last couple of months I've been able to see how great the senior center is and the dedication of the staff. And I know she really wasn't joking about can you paint, because everybody in that senior center does everything.
That's
and
right.
It's a tremendous asset to the town of Linfield, and I'm happy we're able to get that more space. But with more space becomes more work. And I think it's great. I see 55 years of over 50 years. So you understand the
Oh,
the
yes.
importance of the senior center and the dedication needed. So I thank you for the willingness to serve,
And you're very welcome.
and I wish you the very best.
Thank you.
And Linda, keep up the great work.
And I,
And
and I
with that-
said it at the budget night, but I say it again, you know, I get all the accolades, you never do it alone at all, but we really couldn't do it without your support. So, and I mean that from the bottom of my heart. A lot of other towns don't do that, so we appreciate it.
Great. Well, with that, I'd accept a motion to accept
would
and
be-
appoint Gloria.
The term is to 6/30/16, it's to fill an unexpired term.
She's filling an unexpired term to 6/30/16, okay?
I'll make a motion to approve Gloria Lemieux to the Council on Aging.
I second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Gloria, welcome and thank you.
Thank you
luck.
very
Appreciate it.
much.
Good luck. Yeah.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Next on the agenda, we got Chief Tatro here and Al Burnham. Al Burnham was, I don't know who saw it in the paper this week, but he made a very generous donation to the preservation of our antique fire truck that we have down at South Station. And I got the chance to see it recently, and it really is a beautiful old Model T changed over to a fire truck, and it's amazing what kind of condition it's still in now. But we all know it takes thousands of dollars to keep it preserved and have it around for many generations to enjoy. But we wanted to acknowledge that. And if you'd like to come up, why don't you step up there and we'll say hello and everybody can see you. And I just wanted to thank you again for your generous donation. This is, I understand from the stories we were told when we were there that this was one of two antique trucks that we were offered at the time, and we were lucky to keep one around, and the other one got, I believe, sent to California. Was that the story?
That is supposedly the story.
Yeah. But it's, we know how VIN numbers are letters and numbers about 20 digits long. What was the number of this truck?
It's F-106.
F-106.
Right,
Yeah, so
right.
that tells you where it started.
Yeah.
It was the 106th truck coming off the line. So it's amazing that we have it here in Linfield. And I saw a recent parade down the South Shore, I think it was Quincy and down that area, where they had another old truck that looks similar to that. Are you familiar with that one? Was that
Yeah.
along the same idea?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
on the same idea.
Yeah.
I think it's a couple of years newer, but it's,
Yeah,
the
it
same
looked
idea.
newer. Yeah, I didn't think it looked as old
It's
as the one
actually,
we-
Hamilton has one exactly the same
Do
as
they?
well.
Yeah.
That's a 16, but it's the same thing. It's a chemical wagon, just like this one here.
That's
Yeah.
great. They're great, that we can have the funds available to do that. And just so everyone knows, Alan made a generous donation of $10,000. So it was wonderful that we be able to have that to remodel and keep up that truck. If anyone has a chance, go into South Station and see it. It's beautiful. So I just want to thank you very much and tell you how much the town appreciates it.
Well, it was my pleasure, and I was just glad that I was able to give something back. I went on the fire department in 1963. I've been around here a long time. And, I worked on that truck for years, and, we spent a lot of time getting it ready for the bicentennial in '76. And it's a shame. I didn't want to see it, this is kind of my swain song. I'm kind of,
Yeah.
this is going to be the end of it for me. And I wanted to, leave a mark. And if I could, do something that would carry on, and that I felt like that would be a good place to do something,
Well, it is. And how many years were you on the local department?
Well, I went on in '63, and I
Mhm.
retired in 1986
That's great.
to start my own company in a plastic manufacturing business, building water tanks for the trucks. Joe Lingle and I were partners in that business, and then I sold my interest in that business in '99 and retired again. And then I started this maintenance company that I go around to all the fire departments performing maintenance, doing testing and maintenance in the firehouse with my son. So my son has just recently ditched me, and he took a job with the Chelsea Fire Department as the full-time mechanic there. So that's kind of left me by myself. So I think it's time for me to pull the plug. So
So you're gonna retire again?
I'm going to
There
retire
you go.
again, and this time it's
That's it.
going to stick.
Yeah. Third time's a charm?
Yeah, well, I told him I didn't want to work past age 70, and I'm 68 this year, so it's time, you know. So.
That's great. That's
And
great.
so I was just glad that I could do something that hopefully this fund that you're going to start with, this preservation fund, other people will donate to this, and there would be enough money there to keep that, preserve the truck and do some minor work on it so it could be used and enjoyed for years to come.
Well, thank you, Alan. I appreciate
Yes.
it. Any other
Okay.
comments from the board?
Just a quick thank you, Ellen. It was awfully generous of you to donate the money, and I can see why. It's really more of a labor of love. So without belaboring
It
the
is.
point, thank you very much.
If anybody's had an old car, I see a Mustang out there. If anybody's got an old car, then, they know what kind of sentiment goes along with
Is
that.
that Hank's?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Alan, thank you.
Okay.
With my fellow selectmen, thank you for the service to Linfield and your continued dedication in preserving our history, and certainly fire services and the vehicle itself. So thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Again, my pleasure. Yeah.
Right.
Mr.
Thank you.
Chairman, the board
Yes.
should actually take a formal vote to accept the
accept the money?
donation for the preservation of the Model T truck. Yes.
Okay, I'll accept the motion to accept the $10,000 donation by Mr. Burnham for the preservation of the antique truck.
Second?
Well, so moved. No,
Second, now you second.
No, second.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you.
Thank you.
Take care now.
Yep.
Thanks,
care.
Chief.
Thank you very much.
Chief.
Next on our agenda, we're going to be speaking with the Lowy family in request for a plaque and a tree planting at Rotary Park. And Mrs. Lowy, or?
Denise.
It's Denise?
I'm one of Hank's daughters. This is
Okay.
my mommy, Lane, and Melissa.
Okay.
The
thank-
proud owner of the Mustang.
He's got the Mustang?
Yes, Melissa has it, yes. So thanks for having us come over today. As many of you may know, Hank Lowy was a resident of Linfield for probably 54 years and loved this town very, very much, and did some GOP work, ran in the road races, was on the softball team, and just absolutely his heart was in this town. So what we want to do is dedicate a bench to him at Pillings Pond, Rotary Park, and put a little plaque, in honor of Hank Lowy for his years of, living in Linfield, et cetera. And wasn't sure if there was a bench available. And Plan B would be to plant a maple tree
Sure.
or something like that right along Pillings Pond, which is a place that he and my mom love to go to. So, and then the maple tree would also have a plaque. So was wondering what you thought of either of those suggestions.
Well,
Or requests.
I like both suggestions. And fortunately, we have our DPW director here tonight, and he might be able to speak to whether or not one would be easier to do, or we have space for one over the other. Do we know? Andrew Lafferty's here. Andrew, do we have room for another bench up that way?
So we looked at it initially, Jane Bandini and I had some discussion about it. Initially, it was my understanding that the tree was really the initial push.
Yep.
So we definitely had looked at that piece to see, there are locations that would be acceptable for a tree down there. The bench idea came up afterwards. There is an option probably for a bench there. We'd have to pin down a specific location, but from a DPW aspect, I would say most likely the best bet would be doing some sort of bench dedicated to somebody due to the maintenance, the ongoing maintenance of a tree, and a plaque may be a little more.
Yeah,
involved.
we would prefer the bench.
Yeah, you would prefer a bench?
Yeah.
Yeah, a bench is a nice touch.
Yeah, we definitely would.
There's another one. There are a couple
And then you can actually put the plaque on the bench.
Yes.
Right. So
I think
so it's
Mr.
up off-
Stone might have one
Yeah.
there.
This is
Yeah.
weeks.
Yeah, so that
The
would
ones
be.
that are already there, those
Yeah.
other benches?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so we might have room for another bench there?
I believe we could probably locate an acceptable location for that. yes.
Yeah. Well, I think that's a great idea.
Like on the
It's a nice
Summer
tribute
Street
to your
side?
father. Yeah.
On the Summer Street side, not on the other side of Suntag, right?
Right.
on
on
the-
the
Yeah,
summer street,
good, okay.
Yeah.
Diane asked me to
I'm
clarify
hoping
that.
that without looking at it. but-
Okay, yeah, well, that would be fabulous.
They're not gonna hold you to a pinpoint spot right now, but, yeah, I think that would be a very nice thing to do.
Great,
And I think we could work with that,
okay,
all right?
fabulous.
So if, yeah, you would work with that, but
Rotary input.
a Rotary input?
Yeah, it's around the Rotary Park. I know they might have,
It's Rotary Park, but it's the town's park.
yeah,
you know,
do they,
so- I mean, did the Rotary, there's no one here from the Rotary, so.
yeah.
So no one asked. Did anyone ask to have any input, or did you get any input?
No, we didn't
Mr.
ask,
Boudreau?
it's the town's park.
Yeah.
I believe the Rotary had some help when we set it up and
Yeah.
doing the initial setup of the park, and that's why they named it Rotary Park.
Sure.
It belongs to the town of Linfield, so
Yeah.
it's up to the board whether they wish to
Okay.
accept the donation.
Well, I think that's a very nice thing to do. I would certainly entertain a motion from the board here to approve a bench at Rotary Park to honor Hank Lowy.
So moved.
So moved.
Second?
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Wonderful, thank you so much.
Thank you for doing it.
Great.
What are we doing? What happens now?
You work with that gentleman right back there, and he will help you out with that and arrange that.
Give us a call in the office.
All right.
DPW office.
Did they mention the benches were $25,000? Yeah.
Thank you.
I just, Denise,
Do you have a card, business card?
I just want to just publicly say how wonderful your father was, because I think Alan and myself remember his work on the GOP committee. And as a young guy in Linfield, I watched his dedication to Linfield, so it is certainly a worthy dedication to keep his spirit alive in his dedication to Linfield. So thank you so much. This is a great thing to bring Mr. Lowy's spirit and keep it alive and strong.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sure, absolutely. On some people's agendas, they have a listing there for the Fields update. Mr. Bork asked us to move that to the 18th, so we could give us a complete update at the time. They're still finishing up some work at the high school, and they're still working on the plans for the townwide Fields project, so he'll be in on the 18th to go over the update of that and the future work that we're going to be doing. So we'll have that in 2 weeks. So next on the agenda is our DPW Director, Andrew Lafferty. He's going to go over our street paving schedule, which I'm sure everybody's interested in. Andrew, why don't you come up to the mic, and we've got a pretty aggressive schedule that you've given us, and if you want to just go over that, that would be great.
Thank you. As you see, I believe you have in your packet a memo that was provided with a listing of the current plan for the road work. Did you actually want to go through the list individually, or how did you want to?
Well, I think people that are throughout town are interested in what streets are going to be tackled first.
Right.
You've had the engineers in town over the last couple of years come up with a street pecking order, and you got some streets you're going to do full reconstructions. You got some overlays. You got some patching. I think it would be helpful to let everybody know
right.
what the list looks like.
Yeah, we can do that. So initially, what transpires is the DPW, working with the town engineer, Charlie Richter, we review the roads in town based on a number of criteria. A lot of it has to do with what transpired over the winter, based on the survey or the evaluations that have been laid out in the past on the pavement management program. We use that as a guide to kind of give us some indication on what conditions we're at. We re-reviewed the roads after this winter and noticed a significant change in a lot of the roads that may not have necessarily been on the top of the list because of the poor weather. So that definitely impacted how we generated the list. Some of the other things we look at are utilities. National Grid, Verizon, both of them have vested interest in ripping up the roads.
Mm-hmm.
So we prefer to get them out in front of us, get them to replace their utilities prior to us. So that does impact where it falls on the list, in addition to the water districts. So we did do some of those reviews. Basically what comes out of that is we end up with a category of roads for full reconstruction, and then roads that meet the criteria for a mill and overlay or a grind and overlay. As you see on the paperwork, the majority of them are reconstructions. A section of Main Street from 95 to Old Town Road, a section of Loxley Road from Moulton Drive to Friars Lane, and a section of Lowell Street from Main Street to 348 Lowell Street are mill and overlays. The rest on the list will be full reconstructions. Level Road and Bork Road are both leftovers from last year's road construction that still have work to be done. There was some drainage issues that needed to be addressed on those roads. So we will be working on finishing those up. And then the additional roads that we're looking at is Main Street, as I had mentioned, Wing Road, the entire stretch of Wing Road, Strout Road, Perry Ave and Ford Ave, Windsor Road, Loxley Road from Moulton Drive to Friars Lane, Marabou Lane from the Main Street to the end. And then part of what we had looked at was some of these other roads that we may not necessarily have the full funding to do a full reconstruction or resurfacing, but there are significant portions that are in disrepair from the winter. We refer to them as blowouts. Some people call them bad potholes, but it's essentially where the pavement is pretty much deteriorated to the point where patching is large-scale patching is the only way to address it.
And Andrew, those roads, some of them aren't on this list here.
Which roads?
Are you talking about repair? Like, how does the repair of roads throughout the community, not comparing with this list here, but just the normal wear and tear on roads throughout the community?
So there's two types. So we have large-scale patching that's outside the realm of regular pothole patching. The regular pothole patching is happening essentially on a daily basis in-house, and we do that. Anything larger than that, we have to sub that out. It usually requires cutting out a large section of the roadway and resurfacing from curb to curb a certain length. It could be 50 feet, 100 feet, or a couple hundred feet. On the second page of the memo is a list of those large patching locations that we'll be focusing on. And that entails the $61,545 that's coming from the state for what's referred to as the RAP money.
Sure.
And then we're adding another $38,000 in change from the DPW operating budget to make essentially $100,000 worth of large-scale patching. And that covers a lot of these areas, various locations on Walnut Street, Cortland Lane, Driftwood Lane, Wyman Way, 2 locations on Pillings Pond Road that have deteriorated, a small stretch on Longbow Ave, and a stretch on Essex Street. And if things work out and we actually are ahead of the game, we'll run that $100,000 on some other patches that we have a list of. But that's what we believe we can accomplish, at least on that. Essentially, the entire the entire roll-up for road work just about meets the 1.2 million that we have available. We got a cushion somewhere in there of like $30,000. It's a little tight, but I think we can make it work.
Andrew, can you just name the roads that are doing the full reconstruct so everybody has that? That's maybe listening at home.
Sure.
Yeah.
So Bork Road is a continuation from last year, so people will see that on last year's list already. And Level Road is also a continuation of last year, and that's a stretch of Level Road. Wing Road is a full reconstruction, and that's the entire length. Strout Road is a full reconstruction. Perry Ave and Ford Ave will be a full reconstruction. Windsor Road is a full reconstruction. And Marabou Lane is a full reconstruction.
So you can certainly see the difference in cost from a full reconstruction from a mill and overlay. What does that also do in time? What's your time schedules for a full reconstruction of a major road here in town? Say the Wing Road reconstruction, that's your largest project. What's the time frame on something like that?
Yeah, it is definitely significant. As mentioned in the memo, we foresee portions of certain road projects continuing through this construction year into next construction year. A lot of it is, it's hard to tell. When we open up a road and we look at the drainage, if there's significant drainage issues, we need to address them, and that usually is the biggest delay. We want to address the drainage issues and any other subsurface defects, let them settle. You know, we'll put a binder coat on and we'll let it sit the winter if that's an option, and then do a final top the following year. For example, Wing Road could take all summer. It doesn't mean that's the only one we'll be working on. There'll be multiple roads will be worked on at the same time, but it may take the course of the full summer to get Wing Road addressed. We already know there are some drainage issues to address up there, so.
Well, you also have the reconstruction of these roads. You also have the other drainage issues that have been brought to our attention in town. Ledge Road, Canterbury area, the Perry Ave area. I see you doing Perry here and down to Main to Ford. You hope to address the drainage issues, if whatever we can do down there? I know it's an area that the drainage is tough, but is that going to be addressed at the same time, or is that just two completely separate projects?
Yeah, I mean, for the most part, we're replacing what's existing. It's when we open up catch basins or we TV the drain lines and we find that they've collapsed or corroded beyond repair. That's the issues we're addressing. We're not necessarily redesigning or relaying new drain lines without, you know, Ledge Road is somewhat of a different situation because that needs a design review before any work really gets done, as compared to some of these others are replacing, you know, catch basins that are just collapsing.
Yeah, well, you also have issue with roads like London Road and Ledge Road. They aren't town roads. So
Correct.
we don't repave those roads.
Slight flaw on the plan there,
Yeah,
yes.
so that's a different issue altogether. But the drainage from the end of Ledge Road was going to be brought over to Canterbury. I know that was a big issue. We still had to, I mean, we put $100,000 into your budget just to look at that whole drainage issue down there, along with the other ones in town. So it sounds like Mr. Richter's not going to have much time off this summer. That's for sure.
Don't tell them that.
This will be a good test to see, because I know when we first talked about the $900,000 that you had this year, which was $300,000 more than last year, and that was going to be a challenging schedule to get that done. We've now added the other $250,000, so it'll be a good test to see how much you can get done in a year,
Right.
because it's a gauge on what the funding would be the next year. I mean, this $250 was put into your operating account, so it has become part of your tax base. So the way I understand it, you're going to use the operating money first, and if you're getting close to the end, you save the Chapter 90 money for to roll over to the next year. Is that correct?
Correct.
Because you can't roll over operating money.
Correct.
Right. So the operating money that we put in into the budget and at town meeting will get used up first before the Chapter 90. Is that this?
That is correct.
The plan? Yeah.
Yeah, the only caveat to that is the RAP money that's provided by the state has to be used before the end of June.
The wrap comes first? Oh, before the end of June?
Correct.
Okay,
Yep.
great. Well, I think you got a very aggressive schedule here. I hope the weather works with you, because that has a lot to do with it too, I imagine.
It sure does impact it.
Have you found out the availability of contractors and the availability of the materials that you need has that been discussed yet?
Yeah, there's been some contact with some of the contractors already to get them scheduled. We already have some contractors in right now doing some of the initial TV inspection of the drain lines, so we're getting ahead of that. And then we've also touched base with the reclaiming crew who comes in to do that. We haven't pinned down any specific dates yet, but we have had contact with them. We're fighting with them just like all the other communities are in the area too, so.
Well, is there a concern of the lack of enough contractors to handle all the communities around here? Because everybody's in the same boat.
Yeah.
And I'm sure every town has appropriated funds to do these roads over and patch everybody's, winter holes up. But is there a concern that there may not be enough paving contractors to handle everybody?
Right. We're restricted somewhat to the contract that we have with the contractors. And, we work with them and they work with us to best schedule, but we are sharing resources because they're paving contractors. when you get to large-scale paving contractors, there's only a few of them out there that,
Mhm.
that are holding the contracts. We did take a little different approach this year and rebid the reclaiming contract to award a primary and a secondary bid. So if the primary is not responsive in a timely fashion, we have the option of going to the secondary bid and,
Sure.
and using him. So that opens up some flexibility. And that's kind of a first go-around to try, see how this works. And if that is a successful model, we may look at doing that with other, some of the other bids that we have with some of these other contractors.
Absolutely, and I'm, you know, I'm curious, I'll be very curious to see how it works out for the year, especially at the level you're trying to get done. And do we bring in any other engineers to help work with Charlie to get some of this done, or do we try to get it all done in-house?
We do have a couple field inspectors we will bring in
Mhm.
to assist, because it's clearly there's too much for one person to oversee. And without good oversight, I think we may find ourselves with not such a good product. So
Right.
we do have a couple field inspectors that we'll be using on all these projects.
Great. Well, I wish you the best of luck with it. I know you've got an aggressive schedule. You've got a pecking order here. Is the pecking order here in any order?
Not specifically. In initial discussions, the mill and overlays would probably be the first candidates
Mhm.
to be worked on, and so that means Main Street, Loxley, and Lowell.
Yep.
And then from there, a lot of it's going to depend on what we see for issues and how we can schedule contractors.
Okay. And they'll just, and if whatever you don't get done this year, you roll over.
And the weather, yes.
And you'll roll it over to next year, what doesn't get done this year.
Correct.
That's the plan.
And I'll say it right up front, there's no doubt in my mind that we'll be continuing some of these projects through to next year.
Sure, because the unforeseen problems you're gonna have in some of these projects are gonna chew up some of the money, and you probably have to
Yeah,
roll
if-
some of them over anyways, I would
If
imagine.
we're looking at significant drainage work or
Mhm.
utility work with
Yeah.
National Grid ahead of us, we really want those trenches to settle and things to be, to lay for as long as possible before we put final paving on. So we would probably try and push any of those candidates through to next year. They would be paved by the winter, but they would be in a binder coat, similar to Bork Road is today.
Yeah. Are they looking to put any gas into any of these roads?
They are.
yeah.
Shelley, good.
That Main Street portion?
Yeah.
Yeah, the Main Street portion, the gas department will be going in there, to relay their main.
Sure.
And Ford Ave.
And Ford?
Yep,
It's already on Perry?
it's already on Perry,
Yeah,
correct.
okay.
I believe it's in the grass strip there.
Right.
All the other streets, we're all set with.
I think it's important that the residents know that, because, you know, with the cost of oil and the cost of heating, I think it's nice, it's a nice option for people to be able to switch over to gas if they want to, and they know it's coming.
The work that the gas department is planning is just relaying the mains that they have.
Oh, so there's no new gas?
No new
Oh, so
gas.
no one's putting new gas in?
Correct.
'Cause I remember a couple of years ago, you were waiting on a couple of roads to get the gas line put in that were new gas lines before they finished the roads.
Right.
But none of that's
No,
going
no,
on.
it's
These
just
are
relaying
just
the old.
fixing the old ones or replacing the old ones.
Yep.
Great.
Charlie, what are all the markings that I see on Cortland?
On Cortland?
On Cortland.
Over there, there's several markings. There's a bunch of them. Some of those belong to us for what we're planning to do for the major patching over there. There's also Reading Municipal Light is over there, and they're installing new electrical cable to the
Underground?
Underground, yeah. So they're just replacing what they have.
So they're going to be tearing up the street as well?
Correct.
So I'm sure Cortland will need to be replaced next year. That's in-
Not if we hold them to good patches like they should be doing.
Yeah, and they have been. So they have in the past.
Cortland's is on a wing and a prayer right now.
Yeah, and that's something we'll have to look at. They no matter how well you patch, sometimes it's
Right.
what it is. So
Those are some of those projects I think we're talking about that are in addition to this list here, kind of those big patch projects.
it's on the second page.
Yeah.
Here.
Right.
You see.
Okay.
You do have Cortland on the second page, yeah.
Yeah, that's that one huge blowout area. But the rest of Cortland is in not so good a shape.
No, it isn't.
Maybe not as bad as the other roads, Wing Road, Perry Ave, Maribou, they're in horrendous shape. So, which Mr. Lafferty and I talked about a little earlier, that it's tough to prioritize, but given this past winter, boy, our roads have really gone through the mill. They really paid the price, which I'm sure you had to rejuggle your priority list as to what roads you were going to address this year, given this treacherous winter that we've had.
Most definitely.
Chris, anything?
No, I think this looks good. If you could just, for me, for a little, how do you prioritize this list? How do you come up with these streets, Andy?
You're talking prioritizing
Just
the
overall,
list
like,
that we've
this
created,
list
or-
was from, there was some roads from last year that continue, obviously, from the prior
Right.
year. And I imagine some of these roads were on that list from last year, but certainly with the winter we just had. So how do you go about pulling the roads out and putting them on this list here?
So, my predecessor had created essentially a pavement management system, an in-house pavement management system, and that's been kind of the basis here for quite a while. So that was at least the starting point. Those roads were evaluated. The last evaluation, I believe, was done 2.5 years ago, and they evaluated approximately 200 of the worst roads in town. So that's kind of where we started. We went back out, looked at a lot of the roads. We looked at well over, we looked at a lot of roads. I mean, I've been driving all over the town. Once we started looking and realizing that, the pavement condition that was on the initial survey had changed significantly because of the road, the way they had suffered through the winter, we went back and started to reevaluate. We prioritized the worst ones that we could see, and then we bounced that list off to National Grid to see what they got going on. And they, as they indicated, they had a couple roads that they were looking to open up. So kind of putting those both together, that helped clarify some of the list. We also looked at issues like Walnut Street, for example. We know ideally we'd like to resurface all of Walnut Street. That would unfortunately be the only street we would do if that was the case. So we kind of looked at the level of usage on which roads. There's quite a few of these roads that are subdivision roads, but they do see quite a bit of traffic, and they have been neglected for a while. So we tried to do a somewhat of a mix of some of the main roads, so we didn't get too far behind, and address some of those issues before they got well out of hand. Main Street, Lowell Street, and the patching on Walnut Street. Unfortunately, those main roads are going to be a significant amount of money when it does come to pave.
Yeah.
And I mean, those would technically wipe out this whole budget. So that was kind of some of the basis for pulling it together. Like Selectman Turnover had mentioned, we could keep on going. There's well over probably another dozen roads we could have
Definitely.
easily added.
Mm-hmm.
It's just we had to cut the line somewhere.
Well, there's certainly only so much you can get done in a year. That's what it really comes down to.
Right.
And, no matter how much money we throw at it, you can only get so many roads done. And that's why this year is going to be a good test to see what we can get done with this amount of money on available to you with the limited staff we have and possibly limited contractors available. So I wish you the best of luck with it, and we're here to help you and whatever you need after that. Katie?
Katie Shea, 7 Daventry. My question is, we all know we had a really tough winter, and I went to a lot of doors, during the campaign, and a lot of people talked about their roads. Just if you could give us a little bit of a highlight, and not to keep you to this, but some of the roads that we can't get to, because we do have limitations. What do you think some of the other ones will be that we'll be looking at in the near future, just so people know they're at least on the list to be done or looked at?
Sure. There's a whole bunch of them, another 200. Honestly, there's quite a few that we've looked at. Sections of Edgemere, Hidden Valley Road, Summer Street. Some of these roads were ones that we considered. Timber Hill Lane. As I had mentioned, the full stretch of Walnut Street. There has to be some future plan with that. Gray Lane. And that, for the most part, Gray Lane was the first stretch of it. I don't recall exactly where it ended off, but
That'd be the Gray Lane section before you go up the hill?
correct.
Certainly Edgemere is a road that needs repair, significant.
Right.
Madison on your list anywhere?
Madison was in there. Pine Hill. I mean, I get 3 or 4 pages worth. So
You certainly can use all the funds that we can give you, and I'm sure you can. The contractors will love to work after years of a tough economy. That I'm sure they'll all be out there in force with all of their nice equipment, working as hard as they can to earn as much as they can.
all we need to do is pray for a long summer and a long fall. That's all.
We're praying with you. And lastly, just from me, the sidewalks. I know there's, just being from I was hearing a lot of issues with the school committee. I was on the school committee about children walking to school and the sidewalks weren't where they needed to be. But it's not just within the school distances, but I know in my neighborhood there's a whole lot of sidewalks that need to be repaired, and certainly it's probably secondary to getting the roads up and going, but do we have a plan for the sidewalks?
So on some of the roads that when we look at the roads, we look at everything. We look at berm, sidewalks, road edge, pavement, infrastructure, the whole shoot and match. So we'll definitely be looking at those portions that are in disrepair on the roads that we're working on, and then over and above that, there is sidewalk fund in the operating budget that we do work with. So those specifically have not been pinned down at locations yet, but we'll be looking at it once we get the road work moving. It's typically the same crew that comes in to do the sidewalk. It does the paving for the roads, so we try and roll it all together. It's same thing with the areas around town where you see the berm that is either missing or damaged. We try and roll that in at the same time also, because they do that also.
Would you consider the sidewalk renovation as part of the budget that you use for the roads? Because we give you a very limited sidewalk budget. There really isn't much there, compared to what you have for the roads now.
Right.
So would you use the road money for the sidewalks as well?
On the roads that we're doing road work, we look at the entire road. Yes.
So the road with the berms and the sidewalk are all on the same price?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We look at the whole thing, and it's when we get outside of the roads that are on this list, what we're going to do for sidewalk money, because we can't necessarily use Chapter 90 just to go do a small stretch of sidewalk on one street. So that's where our operating budget is used for that.
So can we assume on some of these reconstructs that you're going to be reconstructing the berm and the sidewalk as well?
Yes, if there's areas that have disrepaired sidewalks or hazardous sidewalks, we would be relaying those.
I think that's what you were getting at.
If
Yep,
you
definitely.
could actually take a look at, I actually walked around here, the flyers to get people to go to the second town meeting.
I think that was my
And-
neighborhood, Tom.
And I was all over Chris's neighborhood.
Yeah.
There's a section of sidewalk just before Chris's house that dips down about a foot. There was actually a cone there, and if a kid just wasn't paying attention, they were riding their bike or on rollerblades or something, they'd really hurt themselves. If you can get someone to take a look at Fairview, about halfway down on the left side, it's a little rough there, and there was also along Salem Street, just before that famous gas station. Some of the sidewalks there's a section, there is no sidewalk. It's
Correct.
dirt right in front of that house that's for sale.
Yeah, are we talking the state
Salem
stretch
Street,
of Salem Street?
That's a state road there.
is that a state
Correct.
road?
Right, yeah,
That's where they're doing the
So-
gas work right now, the pipelines.
yeah, that's Mass DOT.
Right.
So maybe you could
We
call
can-
your friends
we-
at MassDOT.
Yeah, we can mention to them, if it's something that can be repaired, that's repairable, they'll repair it short term, and then obviously they'll have to go back and do something else long term, but we can let them know.
Yeah, I've also had several calls about even the sidewalks down Main Street, because you have areas where the tree roots
Right.
have made bumps, and it's difficult to navigate sometimes for either bikes or jogging. It's a trip hazard and things like that. Is that on your hit list?
As we're aware of them, we'll address them.
Sure.
Honestly, the best approach is whether it's yourselves or if residents see it, to call it at the office so we can at least
Sure.
put a work order in and get it on the list, to see how and when we can address it.
Yeah, I'm sure everybody'd be happy if you got the whole town done within the next year or two. That'd be great.
Not a problem, we'll bang that out.
2 years?
Hey, 2 years?
That's
Yeah,
a little,
good.
I think maybe
A
within
little
a year.
aggressive. Andrew, thank you. I appreciate it.
Thanks so much.
for your
Appreciate it.
Andrew.
Great job.
This will be a good test this year, that's for sure.
All right, thank you.
Yep, thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Charlie, thank you.
Yeah.
All right.
You're
Thank you.
gonna need sneakers this summer.
Next on the agenda, we have we have to do an appointment of an alternative wiring inspector. We have an issue with multiple vacations and one of our assistants resigning. So we've been asked to appoint an alternative wiring inspector for the next week. Arthur M. Skinner Jr. Mr. Boudreau, would you like to go over that real quickly?
Excuse me. We have our regular wiring inspectors going on vacation next week. We have 2 assistant wiring inspectors. One of them has informed us that he will be resigning that position. The other is a wiring inspector in another town that is also going on vacation at the same time, so we will be left without any wiring inspectors. Jack came up with Mr. Skinner, someone he's worked with before. He's an alternate in another community. So just to make sure that we have someone available if a resident or a business needs to see the wiring inspector, we would ask that you would appoint Mr. Skinner as an alternate, probably to the end of the month, just in case those vacations overlap.
To the end of
or
the
something
month?
else
Okay,
happens, yeah.
that was going to be my next question, how long? All right, well, I would take a motion to appoint Mr. Skinner as the alternate wiring inspector through the end of the month of May.
So moved.
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Welcome aboard, Mr. Skinner. All right, next we have the town use facilities. First one we have is the South Fire, September 27th and October 4th car wash for the Linfield High School girls soccer. Got a letter here from Mr. Look asking for the use of that area. Did we get a full application?
No, that was it. They generally reserve with the fire department.
Okay,
They just ask for the dates.
they just want the dates, they don't have, they didn't fill out anything formally, okay.
No.
Okay, well, I'll take a motion to, for that if,
I'll make a motion to approve the Linfield High School girls varsity soccer team to have a car wash on September 27th with an alternative rain date of October 4th.
I second that.
all those in favor?
Aye.
Good luck, girls.
Have fun. Raise lots of money.
Next one is for the Center Yoga. Wants the use of the common for yoga classes in August 3rd, 10th, 17th, 24th, and 31st for the time of 4 to 6 for, I believe, free yoga lessons. They can't charge, correct? And they want to use a portion of the common to do that, and they've done this in the past.
Yeah.
I know we've approved this in prior years, and I think it's gone over very well.
And they're not allowed to put signs up either. So it's just free yoga for the residents.
Great. So,
In the past, this was very successful, wasn't it?
yes.
I believe it has been, yes.
Yeah, there was lots of people there in the past, so.
Yep, yep.
I'll make a motion to approve the request for free yoga classes for Center Yoga.
I second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We also have, some proclamations here for 3 retired firefighters. And I'll just read these. They're all very similar. First one is for Lieutenant Eric Blackman. It reads, whereas Lieutenant Eric Blackman served as a Linfield firefighter from March 15th, 1993 through April 2nd, 2015, and his service to the town and its residents has been marked by dedication, bravery, and devotion to duty. Whereas during his years of service to the town of Linfield, Eric Blackman has faithfully executed his duties as a member of the Linfield Fire Department, always in a manner that has been a credit to himself, the department, and the town. Therefore, we, the Board of Selectmen of the Town of Lynnfield, do hereby offer our deep gratitude and convey to him the thanks of the citizens of Lynnfield for his 22 years of dedicated service to the Lynnfield Fire Department and the Town of Lynnfield, dated this 4th day of May, 2015. Lieutenant Blackman, thank you very much for your years of service. Second one we have is James Johnson. This one reads, whereas James Johnson served as a Lynnfield firefighter from April 1st, 1987 through February 1st, 2015, and his service to the town and its residents has been marked by dedication, bravery, and devotion to duty. Whereas during his years of service to the town of Lynnfield, James Johnson has faithfully executed his duties as a member of the Lynnfield Fire Department, always in a manner that has been a credit to himself, the department, and the town. Therefore, we, the Board of Selectmen of the Town of Lynnfield, do hereby offer our deep gratitude and convey to him the thanks of all the citizens of Lynnfield for his 38 years of dedicated service to the Lynnfield Fire Department and the Town of Lynnfield, dated this 4th day of May, 2015. And finally, we have Joseph Lingo. And if you all remember, he was our part-time chief, and he was in service right before Chief Tatro was hired. Under this proclamation, we read, whereas F. Joseph Lingle has served as a Lynnfield firefighter for 44 years, and his dedication and his service to the town and its residents have been marked by dedication, bravery, honesty, fairness, compassion, and devotion to duty. Whereas during his years of service to the town of Lynnfield, Joseph Lingle has faithfully executed his duties as a member of the Lynnfield Fire Department, always in a manner that has been a credit to himself, the department, and the town. Whereas from 2013 to 2014, he served in the capacity of chief and led the Lynnfield Fire Department with great distinction during that period. Therefore, we, the Board of Selectmen of the Town of Lynnfield, do hereby offer our deep gratitude and convey to him the thanks of the citizens of Lynnfield for his 44 years of dedicated service to the Lynnfield Fire Department and the Town of Lynnfield, dated this 4th day of May, 2015. Well, that needs to be, those do need to be signed, and we'll send those to each of them. And I do want to thank them for the years of service, and the town is very proud and lucky to have had them.
I want to thank Chief Lingle for stepping in to help the town during the time of flux where we were between fire chiefs. Thank you, Chief Lingle. Don't want to forget James Johnson. Thank you very much for your many years of service, and Lieutenant Eric Blackman. Thank you very much for your many years of service.
I'd like to concur with my fellow selectmen, Mr. Blackman, Mr. Johnson, and certainly Mr. Lingo for their dedication, putting their life on the line for the citizens of Lynnfield every day. I greatly appreciate that, and I wish them the very best.
Thank you. Okay.
No further action? Anything else that we're...
Nope, we have finished our agenda for the evening. I'd like to take a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Good night, everybody.
Have a great night. Thank you.